You know, I'm beginning to wonder if you could date these videos by the progress of my beard growing. It's a curious question. Anyway, hi, welcome back. So, this is another 10 a.m. lesson. Today, I'm going to be focusing on how to finish up the spaceship. We've been kind of working on it for a little bit of time. I want to see if we can try and wrap it up today so we can move on to other things on the venue. So, with that said, welcome to the morning 10 a.m. thing. I'm tired. To the video. Great transition, I know. Anyway, so we're going to go over to our Blender tutorial, and we're going to open up the spaceship. I'm very determined to do this in one take. Very determined. I also have two cameras, and I don't know which one I'm going to use, so we'll figure that out. Anyway, last time we left off... Oh, what happened to my reference image over here? Do I need to reload? Because it looks like it is still... Still doing its thing over there. Also, I don't know why I'm wearing these because I'm pre-recording this time. We're trying a couple new formats out, and I can add in the music after the fact. So there's really no need for me to wear these. Because usually we pump out music when it's live. Just kind of jazz it up a little bit. Anyway, back on point. So, why is my spaceship not working? Let's go ahead and let's see, desktop, Blender tutorials, spaceship, there it is. Don't know why that disappeared. Anyway, we're going to go ahead and continue fixing up this edge loop right down over here. Also, I have my mouse clicks enabled, so hopefully, and my keyboard, so hopefully that will help you follow along with the keys, because now that I'm at home, I don't have a dedicated view. But moving on, so we're going to go ahead and add in a cut down this way. So we're going to hit our, my mic is blocking the thing. We're going to come down over here, add that in, and then we're going to have this come up and around. Now again, remember that because we are doing this, first off, we're going to go into edge selection. We're going to select that there, hit X, and let's get rid of dissolve edge is what I want. And now we're going to have to adjust this edge loop here to make sure that this doesn't mess up the shape too much. Now this is supposed to be a little bit of a curve. I'm going to hit Shift V here. We're just going to kind of readjust this a little bit just so it's a little bit more. So now we have a little bit more of that curve I was talking about before. Underside here, we're going to go ahead to vert selection. We're going to move these. I'm hitting Shift V again. So we're going to space these out a little bit so they're not quite as crowded. And I think we're pretty good on this shape here. I'm not too concerned about it for right now. But let's see here. I think we actually wanted this. Oh, that does give us a little bit more geometry to start playing around with this curve shape here, so we can actually grab all of these. I'm holding Shift, which hopefully you're seeing on the keyboard capture, and we're gonna do something like that. Start to get that curve in there. I'm gonna go over to my move tool up here. Move. Come on. I need you to cooperate with me. I wonder if I should make that a little bit more extreme. Yeah, there we go. I like that. Cool. So we got that sorted. Now we got to do this Jim Jam over here. So let's go. I don't know if that's the technical term. Wait, you're up there, and we're up there. Up there or up there? There's a preview thing over here. Sorry. Been a long day. I tend to ramble when that happens. So anyway, we're going to put another cut right here. And we're going to put another cut right... Come on. There you go. We're going to add another cut here as well. We're going to select both of these edges by holding Shift, hitting X, dissolve edges. And let's clean this up a little bit. I'm using Shift V just to kind of move this around a little. And that does look a little weird geometry-wise, so we're going to put another spot right there. Oh, I probably moved this over too much because now I got this to contend with. All right, we're going to come back to that as well. Pop you over there. Probably would have been easier just to do both of these at the same time and then adjust them. Now I gotta go back because I didn't plan ahead. Okay. I need to add a cut there in a minute, but let's slide this back over. About there's good. We can slide these guys up. So now I'll have... I hit a shortcut key I wasn't supposed to. I just hit Control-Z. So let's slide these over. Now we can actually adjust this a little bit more. And we'll pull... we'll just nudge that in a little bit for now. I'm not too worried about that. We'll adjust that one. Yeah, so now we really have that curve defined because we have that extra geometry up there. I need to look. Okay, so let's grab... I suppose we could keep that because we're about to fix this. We'll see how... We'll keep an eye on that. But let's go ahead and actually just do the rest of this up here. Get this guy... Hey, come on. Okay, we're going to go here, and then we're going to have that loop all the way over there. I'm going to get these... Well, that's just bad geometry right there. We gotta go in and fix that. So most of the controls I'm using are just K, left clicking on specific spots and hitting enter. Nothing really changing there. But we should see a big improvement on the geometry when all is said and done. Okay, how long have we been running for? Cool. Just trying to keep an eye on the time. I've also got my thing down there, so we'll pop that there. Then, of course, we need to continue this over because we don't want any n-gons. Might as well do this one too, just so we don't forget anything. Cool. Okay, we'll do a little... Oh, I forgot the bottom! No, we can't have that. Alright, we'll come back to that bit in a second. We can also probably just... It's annoying me. I'm just going to move this down slightly. This one, nope. Shift V is what I want. Alright. Grab these, dissolve edges. Okay, so now we got to round this out a little bit. So let's move this over. We're going to grab the... Grab these, move those guys over. So they're spaced out a little bit. And now we need to make sure that this is not flattening out. We're going to get a chance to add in some more definition over here as well once we add in these edge loops. So I'm not too worried about that. All right, in terms of here, I actually do want this to be a little bit more straight. Because I can't really... I think that's just a tube on the underside. So I'm actually going to leave that. So now we're going to come in here. We're going to add these guys. And we're going to do one of these. Pop that over there. I think that's it for coming down that way. But we definitely need to do this. Now we can go ahead and dissolve. I know we still have to adjust those. I haven't forgotten. Just want to see. Okay. What? Still having some geometry acting up here. Whoa, hold on. Is there something that's not joined? What am I missing here? Is there what shenanigans are you up to? Why are you doing the thing that you're doing? Just for fun, I'm gonna hit A just to select everything. We're gonna go over to I deselected A again. Mesh. We're gonna where is merge? Or it's under vertex maybe? Vertex. Merge vertices. We're gonna say by distance. Okay, so there aren't vertices on top of one another. Occasionally, just for demonstration purposes, occasionally what will happen is if you grab a face, extrude it, and then accidentally right click, you still have a face that's on top of your original vertices, and then that will essentially make the mesh a little wacky, and you'll see some weird results. So I was wondering if that was the problem, but that doesn't appear to be the case. And this is entirely straight. I am very confused. The mystery of the mesh continues. Let me just see. We're going to grab here. Grab there. Nope. So usually if you select one point and wiggle it around, you can see very quickly where things are acting up. So hopefully that will be figured out soon. Still figuring that one out. I think, though, based on my battery life, I can see that this camera is not going to be usable, so we're going to go ahead and turn that off. I'm going to rely on this camera. Okay, let's see. It's frustration. I'm just going to see what happens when I do that. Okay, so it will curve, or just for some reason it's staying extraordinarily straight. Smooth, keep... Is this a thing that's going to do the thing? I mean, that's simple. That's obviously going to do that. I didn't think that was the right order. So basically one of the things that I'm experimenting with is the modify order. You can see that by clicking one of these arrows, I'm changing the order of the subdivision. So because the subdivision happens before the mirror modifier, it actually ends up curving the mesh. So I was wondering if that played a part, but that's clearly not the right way to go. So I don't know why that's not curving. Could be just the distance of the mesh here. This is really bugging me. But I think I'm going to have to just deal with it for the purposes of... But then look! Why? Something's afoot here, and I don't know what it is. Very weird. Let me just see. We're probably going to get the same behavior here. So if I shift that up. So it does curve, but there's no reason to just do it on that side. Let me just see. Vertex. Edge. Clear sharp. I mean, I don't have any modifiers for that. Alright. I'm going to think more about that because I don't want this whole video to just be me gabbering on about the issue I'm facing. I'll do some of that in my free time. Let's get back to modeling. So now that we have these two extra bits over here, I'm going to select these two verts. I'm going to hit Shift V, slide it over, Shift V, slide that over, and we're going to round this out a little bit more. Make sure we see this from above, because now that we've got some vertices that are essentially bunching up together, it's much more likely for us to make something that is not round, and that's something I want to try to avoid. So let's see what that looks like. That looks like a nice shape, though. Cool. I'm happy with that. Now let's just check under here. So we could probably play with the I was about to say chassis, but one, I don't know car parts very well, so I could be using the wrong terminology. Whatever this bottom piece is, we can probably play around with the overall bottom shape a little bit more. So let's go ahead and make this a little bit flatter. Make sure we grab this. The thing is, if I want to make this straight, I can actually select all of these vertices, and I'll hold down shift here. If I hit scale Y and 0, that will actually make them perfectly flush. However, this will only work if you are modeling along the grid here, otherwise it's going to end up on a slight angle. And I'm going to go ahead and push these in a little bit. Maybe I will have that slightly curved. Nope, not those two. Maybe I'll pull that one out, make that even straighter. How does that look? It's a little awkward. I'm not sure I like the decision I just made. Unless I pull this in a little bit. So that way it like curves and then starts to straighten a little bit. I think that looks a little bit better. So yeah, there we go. We'll move that over and we'll give this a little bit of a nudge. So now we've got this part curving and then it starts to flatten out over this way, and we'll actually pull this over. Cool. Take a look at everything while it's in smooth form. Again with those windows. Make sure that modifier is moved in the correct spot. And we probably want this part to be flattened, but we're going to have to, you know, trick it in some way. But let's go ahead and God, that's bothering me so much. Let's see here. Let's go ahead. Oh, let me just turn this off. No point in that being on. Cool. Now we need to go ahead and extrude this in. I probably should work on the shape of the windows first. So let's go ahead and add an edge loop here. It's all along this edge. It's very weird. Add a point here. Again, whenever we add more geometry, we want to make sure that we are paying attention to the overall shape. So we want to make sure that is curved a little bit. Actually, does that seriously hamper anything? Yeah, that stays very straight. So we're going to grab... So we're actually going to use a tool for this. I'm going to grab this point here. And we're going to go over to this little button and turn that on. This is the proportional editing tool. It will basically grab your vertices and move them with a fall off distance. So let me move this out. So you can see that now there's like a very drastic curve. So we're going to go ahead and just move this out a wee bit so it just curves. So now we've got that. We'll put that here. And let's Shift V that over. Still don't know why that's so straight. Very bizarre to me. This we can turn off though. Turn off that proportional editing tool. I'm going to slide that up so we start to curve these windows a little bit. Shift V. Oh, my back. Been sitting for a lot of days and a lot of times. Starting to get to me a little bit. I do think this window needs to be a little bit narrower. So one thing we can possibly do is just grab all this geometry. Let me just see if this works. Yeah, I created sort of a bit of a extra gap there. Basically, I extruded and I scaled it, but I'm still a little bothered. I want to try to avoid adding in an extra edge here because that's going to give me a lot of extra geometry that I just don't want to mess with right now. So let us try something else. Let's go over here and let's turn There we go. So one of the things I did is that you can toggle this button right here. So this will give you a preview of the overall mesh, sort of in its. So you can see like the original shape and then also the smooth shape on top of it. I'm going to hit this button here, which basically will still show you the points, but it'll show the rounded version as well. So I'm actually going to go ahead. Let's actually focus on the first window, take my mind off of it. I think this needs to come in a little bit more. So let's shift that over. This needs to be a lot more narrow. Yeah, there we go. We'll slide that over. Okay, I think that looks good. I'm not going to futz with that. Let's come over here. I'm probably overthinking this one as well because we do want that to... It's really weird though. It's like the windows are slightly slanted back, but I don't want to go too crazy with this. So, turn this back on. Maybe what I'll do is I'll shift this over a little bit and I'll shift these back. Okay, that actually was not too bad. See what happens when we do a render. Oh, that's right. We're only doing it on viewport 1, so viewport 2 actually looks pretty good. We got a little bit of a crease right there, but I am going to go back down to 1 just to make this a little bit simpler for the viewport here. Quality 2 is fine. Okay, so we kind of shifted that a little bit. I think I'm going to squish it down a little bit. Let's go to normal and let's go scale X. Just slide that together a little bit. Cool. Excuse me. My nose is itchy. Worry not though. I am at home. All good things. So that straight edge didn't really affect things too badly, but this over here, this nonsense over here. We're definitely going to add another edge over here. And we're going to pop that out. Actually, let's grab our tool again here. Let's go to global. We're going to pop that whole section out a little bit just so it rounds a little bit more. Let's see what that looks like. Yeah, I need to flatten that bit right there. So we're going to go over here. I might keep the fall off on though. Just maybe, I'm using my middle mouse wheel just to scroll down a little bit. So I lower the amount of fall off. That's looking better. I think I'm overthinking this a little too much because we've already spent 3 lessons on this and I do want to wrap this up. So, oh, well I just realized something here. This does not have the same amount of geometry here or here. We're going to come over to that because I want to be careful about how I add in the geometry. But let's go ahead and see what that looks like. So now let's actually slide this down. Nope, Shift V is what I want. Slide that up a little bit. I think it's also slightly slanted back. So Shift V, Shift V, Shift V. Let's actually get the whole kit and caboodle over here. Shift V and then another Shift V. Slide all that over. They have very weird windows in the future. Still very weird how this whole edge is just straight though. Like I can stop it from being straight. Well, I guess it is still straight on the edge here, so I guess that would make sense of why it's doing that. Shift V, and I'll move that one in just a little bit. Okay. That looks about right. Again, I will say that I think the distance between the windows is a little off. That, if we add in the border around here, that's actually about right. We had the borders on the... Actually, no, that may still be about right. I'm just not counting the borders here. In this back window, I think... Sorry, I'm like yelling into the mic here. I think for this back window, we're going to go ahead and, first off, we're going to add in our extra geometry here. I'm going to round this out. And we'll do our preemptive like slide over here like we've been doing. Nope. That one I got to move with my global controls here. Also, we got to move, put in an extra point here. I can slide these down as a result. Get that shape a little bit more. We're going to grab these two verts, turn on proportional editing, start to left click and drag those out. We'll increase the fall off a little bit more. So now we've got more of a rounded shape there. It has a much wider window compared to the others though, despite the style. Ugh. Yeah, that's, nope. So slide this back over. Okay. Nope, we don't want this on. So one thing you'll notice is that they are a little bit flatter on the bottom. We are going to fix that. I'll just grab these guys, slide them over. I'll just move these over a little bit just to, so they're not quite as distorted. Gotta move this guy back out though. Again, always good to move around and check and see what things are looking like. Okay. I think that's as good as we're going to get with that particular case there. There is a lot of rounding happening due to the subdivision surface. Let's just go ahead and clean up this back a little bit. And I'm good with this shape here. The underside, I think we're good with. We do have a lot of extra geometry, but we'll probably play with that a little bit. But we're going to go ahead and just make sure that this back piece is curved. So we're going to move that out just a little bit. And we probably have a bit of a... No, that edge is actually fine. Cool. So what we're going to do here is we're going to grab the inside. And we're going to extrude it in a little bit. So that way we create a bit of thickness. And then we're going to create another item that's basically going to hide underneath here to create this sort of like blast shield area. So, I've been saying that a lot tonight. Oh, just gave away the time I'm recording this. I've broken the magic. Okay, so let's see here. We're going to need all of this. Actually, I think it would be smarter if we fixed the geometry issues first. So, let's see. We'll do that. So one of the things we can do, and I'm actually going to demonstrate this with another cube, is if we have a subdivision surface on here, you can reduce the smoothing a little bit by adding in an edge loop. And you'll see you won't get as much smoothing. Now you do want to be a little bit careful here because you don't want to add in a crazy amount of edge loops. There are some other techniques you can use to reduce the smoothing, but for this particular tutorial, we're going to go ahead and do this. So we're going to add in a loop right here. It's actually not doing a heck of a lot, so I think we're going to have to add it. Yeah, that's what I want. That's not doing a whole heck of a lot. Heck of a lot. But that's what I want. I wanted that gradual angle here. Now here, because until I can figure out why the geometry is acting up a little bit, I'm going to pull this down. Yeah, there we go. And maybe over. It's a little pinch there. I think I have to pull that back in. So I think I'm getting that because this is now starting to get a little distorted, but I think we can get away with it for right now. Cool. Hold on, I gotta stand up for a second. Oh. Oy. Okay. Should be good. So, down over yonder, that looks good. That, we're going to pull these guys down a little bit. And we're going to move them away as well. See, it's supposed to be more curved up here. But we're getting this very specific edge. Smooth, keep corners. Sharp? Does that do anything? No. Optimal display? No. Use creases. We don't have any creases, so... Yeah, I don't know why it's doing that. Modifier doesn't have anything to do with it. Watch, I'm going to end the spaceship thing, and I'm going to like go on a forum later, and I'm going to find, oh, you forgot to deselect one button or something. That's happened to me a lot. I mean, it's not the end of the world, but I would like to fix it if I can. In fact, we may just have to add in another bit of geometry here, just to compensate. Let me just see if that does anything worthwhile. Because if it adds way more geometry... Yeah, it's just adding more geometry. It's not worth it. So until I can figure out what's going on with that, we're going to have to leave it as is. But it's not worth adding in extra geometry if it's not going to do anything. So, I've got to stop saying that. I'm also going to grab all these edges up all these edges up here by holding down Shift, Alt, and left clicking. I'm going to hit Scale Z and 0 just to flatten all that out. Make sure that's nice and even up there. I also see that I have a little bit of a bump up here. I think that was from me futzing with the geometry a little bit. So we're going to pull that down just to get that out of there. Push that in. So it's a nice, smooth, gradual curve. So we already did the bottom here. We'll put that down here. And this should help that part. So that sort of helps these guys. Which again, it just makes it all the more confusing about why only these sections are giving me problems. Like this one seems to be doing just fine. Any event, we need a much sharper curve down here as well. So we're going to add an edge loop. Not bring it all the way down. We're going to put one here. And I don't want to add one over this way, because that's going to add in a crease down here, which I want to avoid. I think that one down on the bottom should be good. Let's go ahead and add one along here, just so we can buff this out a little bit. I'm actually going to go scale Y, or maybe just S for scale. I'm going to play around with the scale tool a little bit, because I don't want to leave this... Oh, that's going to be really weird. So let's see, scale, and then can I... Let me try the move tool. Let me try just nudging it all out. So these guys didn't really get too much of a benefit there. So basically what I'm trying to do is kind of round the edge out a little bit. I wonder if I pick it up though. Yeah, we can kind of make that a little bit flatter. Give it a little bit more of a sharper point. I'm going to have to pull these guys out manually because they are being pulled away from where I want them. And, God, my spine is just the worst today. And let's pull these guys out, too. And I wonder if we add in another one. Yeah, that's too much. In fact, let's grab this edge here. Is that not saying I can do that? Okay, there we go. I'm actually going to put another edge loop around here. Grab the edge right below it. We're going to... Oh, let me do this from the cursor. That's going to be way easier. So I'm going to change this icon here to the 3D cursor. So now if I hit scale, this will all move inward. but I forgot the other edge here. So let's go ahead and scale, move that in. We're going to move that up a little bit. So now we're starting to get a little bit of that, you know, like sort of shape. In fact, what I may do is actually move these up significantly so this is a lot thinner. There we go. That's kind of nice. Let's just check the back real quick. All right, unintentional accident. It didn't quite work all the way in the back, but that's okay. Oh, it's because this got left behind. Oh no. All right, well let's adjust that. We're gonna have to go into verts here. And I'm losing that crease over here. So it's because these are actually underneath it. Hold on, I gotta get my water bottle. Nope, I did the classic thing where it's on my desk and I just didn't see it. Stay hydrated, folks. And of course, I bumped the mic twice. Yeah. Cool. All right, so we had a little bit of a futz here. Yeah, we're going to have to clean that up. Let's switch this back over to bounding box. Maybe not have that so close. And we're going to adjust these on a case-by-case basis here. So we want it to come in and then down. That's how we're getting that shape. And the period key on my keyboard here, so we're going to move that here. Wait, I already forgot the shape. So back toward in and then down. Back toward in. And then this needs to be down. Ooh, this one is not looking so hot. See, this is what happens when you add in a bunch of geometry and you don't adjust it. End up doing this work. Luckily, it's not too bad right now. Still manageable. These guys kind of did what they needed to do, but we're going to move. Come here. Stop it. Okay. All right, so now it's a little bit more consistent around on the way there. Cool. So we've got that shape. We've got sort of that very sleek sort of edge here. We got a little bit of an underside. We definitely need to make it sharper around here. Absolutely. And no, I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. I could actually cut another edge around here, and then I could, let's actually see how that goes, because I do want this edge to be a little bit more defined. The problem is the way that we have our geometry defined is that the edge is going to come around here, and then I would need another edge to go that way. And that's going to sharpen up this section here, and then it's going to make this a lot sharper too. And I think we can get away with using less geometry, which is always a good thing. So let's come in here with the cut tool. We're going to turn this off. Nope, that's not how you turn that off. We're going to hit that button, and we're going to come over here and come around, and we're going to do one of these. So right here is where it's going to get a little weird. We're going to just follow this edge. And we're just going to follow it around. Kind of talking like Bob Ross. We're just going to follow the edge around. Those of you watching who don't know who Bob Ross is, you can absolutely Google him. His tutorials are focused all on traditional painting, but he has a very relaxing, sort of somber voice. somber. I don't know if it's the right word, but everyone tells me it's enjoyable. I actually haven't watched them. I really should, but he's been memed and gifed so many times that it's just woof. I'm very well aware of it. All right, now we've got this little triangle here, which sort of causes some problems for us because now this guy is a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 triangle. So what we could do to fix that, and we're going to see what happens here, is we can take this and go right here, and basically this will now become its own quad. So I can Shift V and pull that out, which it probably won't hurt anything too badly. Let's see. You know, the geometry there is a little concentrated because of the cut, but now we have a much more distinguished edge over here. In fact, we could probably do that same thing around this way, just to make that a little bit more detailed. So there are ways to get around if you've got some funky edge flow going on. This is just one of them. Basically, you turn a triangle to a quad, and you split an existing quad up into more triangles. And triangles are not necessarily a bad thing. For example, back to our lovely cube here. If I cut this shape here and we smooth it, you know, it still will do a decent job. It's just a little bit different because now the shape is having to subdivide a triangle and smooth it. So it's going to have different results. Depending on where you put the triangles, you won't really see this happen. But general rule is triangles are okay. Try to avoid using them if you can, but you do not want any n-gons whatsoever. So I'm going to get rid of that. Let's come back over here. Just double check this guy over here. Ah, yes. So we need to do the same thing over here. Boop. And come on. Get in there. Boop. And we'll just... Nope. That's Shift B. That's the box select. Shift V. All right, we got a little bit of a bump there, but I actually don't mind it in this instance. And honestly, I may actually put in yet another edge loop right over here, just to really solidify that edge. Maybe another one over here. What about up here? Okay, I actually kind of like that. Just see if that adds anything here. I think I'd take that last one off. Cool. All right, so we have a nice distinguished shape here. Let's add, we're going to add one around here. We're going to put that pretty close. Awesome. And we got the viewport on 2 right now. Could put it on 3, but the other thing we can do is we can go back to 2, right-click on the model, and go to Shade Smooth. So now we will view the model. See, we're getting a little bit of pinching on the normals there, but I actually don't mind it in this case. Generally, you don't want to see that. It's pretty small, and the model is probably not going to be seen from the bottom, at least not for purposes of our tutorial. So we could leave it. However, in the event that you do need to fix this, like let's say you're working on something for a film or what have you, then you may want to spread that out and redo the geometry after you're done. So let me say that again. You may need to move this around a little bit more so that way this isn't as bunched up. The reason that we're getting that sort of odd blip here is because there's a concentration of geometry here and then it spreads out. So I think for our purposes, this is actually not too bad. I'm going to see if I can see what happens when I just move this out a little bit. Probably reduce that. However, if this does pose a serious part to the model, in other words, let's say, for example, this is going to be showing up on screen a lot, or you can see it very clearly, then it may make sense to actually, after you're done modeling it, do a process called retopology, where you go through and you redo it specifically with edge flow in mind. You know, that's definitely a part of the process. So if I was going to do that, I would probably just model this super fast without paying attention to edge flow, and then redo it later. Hello? When did that happen? That looks like a normal issue. So we're going to just turn this off for a second. So I guess this is where we're going to talk about normals. So we've got a face here. And on that face is a normal that is perpendicular to this face. So if we were looking at this from the side, the normal would be pointing straight up, making a 90-degree angle. And as you rotate the face, this normal is always going to be pointing, again, 90 degrees. The normals are used to calculate lighting. So if we have a ball here, for example, and we've got a bunch of little faces on here, all those normals are pointing outward. So if there's a light source, normals that are pointed toward that light source are illuminated. Ones that are pointed away are in shadow. I talk about this a little bit more in the texturing and all the other lessons I do with texture mapping and lighting and all that. But that's the reason we're getting this weird set of normals, because somehow they got flipped when I was messing around with the whole whatever you want to call it. So let's come over here and annotations is what I need. And we're going to get rid of this. So we're going to go into edit mode. Hit A to select everything. We're going to go up to, I think it's under mesh, normals, and we're going to recalculate. There we go. Easy fix. You know, the other thing we're going to do here is I had the annotate tool. We're actually going to grab this and just slide that over a little bit. So that way this kind of curves around a little bit more. Just seeing if I can reduce that a little bit more. Yeah, that's not too bad. It adds an interesting kind of shadow. Or normal in this case. I would definitely play with that a little bit more, depending on how that came out. But we're focusing on modeling for this. So we're going to go ahead and just finish up the inside, add some extra stuff on the bottom, and I think we can call this done. Overall, I'm pretty happy with the shape. Again, I just want to play with the bottom a little bit. Let's have some fun with the proportional editing tool. So let's hit C here. Let's grab this. And we're just going to see what kind of... that's actually kind of weird. Sometimes it's just fun to grab a shape and go for it. You know what I mean? Whoa. Let's grab these two. Maybe I'll grab these. We can always undo if needed. So I guess what I'm trying to do here is just seeing if I can get these to line up so they create almost a straight edge. I think I like that a little bit better. Is that what we had before? I'm tired. So I'm basically using the C key here to go around and select specific shapes or specific vertices, hitting Alt-A when I am done. I'm glad I have the keyboard enabled for this. Futurecraft. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with that. I think we're just going to do the inside, do a little bit of detail on the bottom there, and then I think what I'm going to do is just add in a really basic shape for the rest of the pieces, and then you guys for homework can go ahead, smooth it out. You know what? Here's what we're going to do. Let's actually go ahead. I am going to show you how to get the inside. In fact, let me just see something real quick. Cool. May actually round this out. You can see it's a little flat over here. So we'll round this out. We're going to go ahead and add thickness to this. We're going to add the interior piece. And then I'm going to add in a couple basic shapes for placeholders about where everything goes, just so we get it down. And then what you guys can do is, using the techniques that we've gone through in this tutorial, I want you guys to go ahead and finish up the rest of the spaceship. And you can go ahead and comment on our doobly-doo or our comment section below, the thingamabobber, whatever it's called. And you can say, hey, I've added to this, so you guys can show us your work. I think that would be pretty cool. So let's go ahead and focus on these guys right here. Yeah, we can see that this is actually really straight here. So let's grab this. We're going to pull this out. And I think we're going to do this with this enabled. Definitely turn this down, however. So that way, any little adjustment we make, we won't have to redo all the geometry. We're going to grab these boyos. So that I could add in another edge here. If we really needed that to be rounded, I would go ahead and do it. But I'm going to veto that decision. Let's go ahead and grab this. Move that in a little bit more. See, and you can also watch the left side of the screen to see what adjustments your changes are having on the model. I'm seeing we're getting a little bit of pinching here, though. Is that just due to... Is it? Let me just see if this does anything. I mean, that definitely helps. Just want to avoid adding an extra geometry if I can help it. I have a thought. I'm going to try this again. We're actually going to cut and put this up here. Okay, and that actually doesn't have too big of an impact because this is very flat here. So we're not getting too much of a geometry warp here or shading issue. I think I'm going to use that to kind of just help that curve out a little bit. It looks like we need a little bit more geometry detail, especially on this window too. But let's finish rounding this out first, then we're going to go ahead and add that in. Oh, I need to hit Alt-A, select this, move it out just a little bit. Yeah, I think what's happening is that we're kind of, there's only 3 edges there, or 3 verts, so they're starting to distort slightly. Move that in. Yeah, I think that's also what's causing it. Between that and a lack of geometry detail. So let's do what we did over here. We're going to hit K, and my cat is now staring at me with what I can only glean is a desire for food. However, you, Sir Cat, have eaten. I know this because you came up to say hello earlier, and you smelled of cat food. Turn this off. So if you guys hear a cat meowing in the next few minutes, I assure you, he has been fed. He's just old and cranky. But all is well, I promise you. Let's also pull these verts out here. There we go. So now we start to round that out. Pull. Actually, I may leave that guy where he is. Let's... no, don't play. This is a little bit more complicated than I thought, but that's okay. Oh, it also helps that probably have this on. A little too flat over here. So let's grab. Yeah, we're gonna cheat it a little bit. We're gonna add in another thing over here. Because there's also no edge over here. So I may actually add one right in the middle without having to go too crazy. Again, we're just checking all the angles here to make sure that we are not distorting anything too much. I know I said we were going to move on. I'm sorry. Just want to make sure we do a good job here. Still a little too flat. So let's grab, nope, not do that. C, we're going to grab these boys, turn this on. We're going to turn the fall off. So I'm left clicking and holding while I'm doing this. We're going to pull this out. Maybe pull that a little bit. Check and see what these guys are doing. Make sure that's not doing anything too disastrous. Maybe we'll grab this and, nope, turn this off first. Yeah, we'll just grab this one. Boop. See, when I look at this from above, I'm seeing this crease right here, which I don't really want. So let's take a look and see what's going on. It could be that we need to pull this section out a little bit more. So that way it lines up here. That's probably what's causing it. The other thing I could do to fix that, which looks like we did a little bit, is I could go into the sculpt tool and, just have it smooth it. But that's not the point of this exercise. The point of the exercise is to get you guys... Okay, that's a bit better. To get you guys using Blender's basic tools and to make sure you get practice. Using like all the little manipulators, all the different buttons, all that stuff. And hopefully, if I'm going a little too fast, you can just go back into the YouTubes and pause the said video. Alright, so that's pretty good. Let's go ahead. Again, so we're missing some geometry here, and it's flattening out a little bit. Let's not do that. We're going to hit K. We're going to add in just a little bit of extra geometry here. We're going to pull that out a little bit. Grab these three, pull that out. Not quite as much. I'm going to have to pull this guy out a little bit to compensate. So one thing you got to be a little careful with the brush tool, though. If you have a hole like this, if you hit C and continue to drag, you're going to grab stuff behind it. Just be really careful when you do that. I'm hitting Alt-A just to deselect stuff. In fact, I'm going to turn this off because it's getting in my way right now. Yeah. Cool. There we go. That looks a lot better. Checking it from a lot of different angles. I think I need to pull this section out a little bit, because I think it's sinking in. Need to pull that there a little. Okay, cool. So then we got this little guy here. Let's see if we can figure out what's going on here. Perhaps pulling that up a little will compensate things. There we go. Still a little bit of a weird pinch. So let's undo that. Hit K. We're going to put in another thing right here. And let's go ahead and smooth that out just a little bit. I think that helped. I think it did, yeah. But to make sure this is rounding out more, I'm going to pull this out a lot. There we go. But now we gotta adjust some things, I think. Or are we okay? We might be okay. Let's see. Nah, I think we're good. Okay. I'm sure that was torturous enough. I'm sorry. So let's go ahead. My cat is snoring. He does this thing where he will just get nearby. He doesn't want to be in your lap. He just wants to be nearby. And that's okay. He's also wondering what I'm doing up this late, because I normally don't, but I have found that it's a little bit easier for me to do my recording at night because it's quieter and I'm on the ground floor of a very busy city. And it is actually dead quiet right now. Which is a lot easier for recording, let me tell you. So basically what I'm doing here is I am hitting C, I'm left clicking and dragging. If you accidentally get an extra little square here, you can middle mouse click. And then because I need to slide over a little bit, I'm right clicking to finish up with the tool, holding shift, middle mouse click and dragging over. Do. Oh, and that's the division there. Great. So now we're going to extrude this in to get a little bit of thickness to the model, but we're going to do this from the 3D cursor. So generally what will happen, this little section here, the transform pivot point, is going to control where you control whatever you have selected. So right now it's on active. Oh, active element is the last thing I selected apparently, or the first thing. Medium point is in like the middle section of everything, distance wise. That's global. I don't want that. Excuse me. Individual origins is a nightmare. I'm not going to explore right now. And 3D cursor is going to be from the 3D cursor, which is this red and white circle. I just said it was quiet here. I'm not sure if you heard the motorcycle. So we're going to hit extrude. And you can see we're already starting to get a little bit of thickness to the windows here. Oh, but it's not doing what we want it to do. So let's undo that. Let's get our pieces back again. So let's see what that did. Extrude. Okay, interesting. It's actually extruding it down and inward, which is actually kind of cool. But I'm going to have to patch things a little bit more. This is okay though. We can make this work. So let's do scale shift Z just to pull that in a little bit more. We're going to bring this up so that way it creates a little bit more of a flat surface. I'm just going to double check, make sure that I didn't distort too many other things. Now it's a little too thick, so I'm going to hit scale shift Z again. We're just going to push that back in, and we're going to left click once we're happy. All right. Now, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to cheat the system a little bit. Really weird. That worked over here for some reason. So I'm going to hit Shift D to duplicate this. This should not be joined at all. If I scale that back out, I should... Oh, it doesn't line up though. Man, I thought I could cheat it. Okay, I'm going to right click. We're going to hit undo. And we're going to have to manually patch this. This is a faster way I can think of, but I can't at the moment. All right, well, we're going to try and do this as quickly as possible. And for some reason, it didn't do the thing over here like it was supposed to do. It extruded the rest of it. Did I just not select it? I probably just forgot to select it. So Let's undo a little ways here. Yep, I forgot a face. So let's grab that. Make sure that, yeah, okay. We're going to hit extrude now. Push it in. It's not at the bounding box center, Nick. So undo. Make sure you have the whole selection. Come over here, 3D cursor, extrude, right click, scale, shift, Z. Move that in. When you're happy with the distance, we're going to left click. I'm also going to turn this off so I'm not totally distracted by it. Now, we've got a framework here. Let's just see if that... Yeah, and the windows are still curving nicely, so that's good. And we're going to have to do a little bit of patchwork. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to go into edge selection. We're going to select these pieces. I'm going to hit F. And I'm wondering, we can definitely grab these guys. F, shift select F. And I think, so if I go this way, that's going to make a triangle. I don't want that. Do not want that. So I'm going to grab a vertice here. We're going to left click here. We're going to left click here. We're going to hit F. That's going to get that together. Then, can I do this? Or that's probably not going to create an intersection, is it? No, no, it's not. That's bad for business. We're not going to do that. Let's actually come over here. We're going to grab this whole set of edges. We're going to extrude it. And I'm just going to left click to place this down for a moment. I'm going to turn on this snapping tool. Set this back to active element. Go to vertice. I'm going to just select that point just so it goes here. And we're actually going to hit grab. And you can see as I start to move this around, this is going to attempt to snap to different places. I'm going to place that here. And we're going to just shimmy these over. If I do that, this piece may not line up correctly. Ooh, we could do this actually. So I do that. Oh, that's going to do that then. I think I'm going to try something else because this is going to be a nightmare to patch. Oh, do I no longer have the... I went so far, I lost the extrusion. No. Dun, dun, dun. Should have saved it. Should have saved it. Lesson learned here. If you're going to do a... Before you do a major operation, save it. All right. How can we fix this? We've already got a shape here. So can I not just duplicate this? Scale it out a little bit and then have it roughly match? Even if it doesn't, I think we're still going to use this because even if it doesn't match 100%, it's still way closer and it's going to be way faster. I only have to patch the top and the bottom edge and around the windows. It's going to be a lot better than patching all of them. So if you're unsure of what I just did, I went in, made sure I had my original extrusion selected. So if you need to go back and select it, go ahead and do that now and pause the video. Once I have that done, I'm going to hit Shift-D, right click, I'm going to hit S for scale to move that out. Move it down just a little bit. Move it out and try to line it up as best I can. It's going to be off. Don't worry. And basically what we're going to do from here is we're going to merge vertices. So I'm going to select this guy, shift select that one, Alt-M. Actually, can we do this just based on distance? So I'm going to select everything, vertex, merge vertices by distance. I'm going to open this up. I'm going to see if I can get it to... Okay. We might have some graphical hiccups, though. So let's actually cancel this. Let's see if we can line this up a little bit more, because then we can use it merge by distance rather than... Nope. Rather than rely on us doing it by hand, which I really don't want to do. Hang on, I have another thought. I have another thought. It's not dangerous, but bear with me here. What if? Crazy thought. Oh, if only I had the original face, though. Originally, I was going to think we could duplicate this bit. Actually, hang on. Because I got this, so if I extrude this and scale it, interesting that this one works the way I want it to. Here's what we're going to do. Because I'm getting this really weird graphical thing, or this weird error, I'm actually going to scale this out for just a second. I'm actually going to use this as my new shape. Because I don't know what happened with my original extrusion. Maybe I had something else selected. So I'm going to go ahead and just patch this really quickly. Basically, I'm going to use this, extrude it in, get the correct shape, put it back on, and we're just going to merge the bottom edge. Rather than go crazy trying to patch all this nonsense, that's going to be a waste of time and effort. So we're going to extrude this. I'm going to do this from bounding box. We're going to move this over. Make sure that's doing the correct thing there. I'm going to turn this on and make sure that's snapping here. Get that vertice. Nope, you stop it. Okay, we're just going to do a quick merge, make sure that's all done. Vertex, merge vertices by distance, and we're going to make sure that's back at its original value, which I think was 0.001. Cool. So merged 4 verts. Awesome. So now, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to... First, we're going to save it. Because we're doing a major operation. Should have learned from last time. Go ahead and use your incremental saving technique that I showed you. So this is 31. One. Oh, I'm in the wrong folder. Why am I in the wrong folder? No. I'm going to be in this folder. Cool. Oh, no. Stop it. So we'll select one vert, hold down Control, and hit the plus key. It will select everything that is connected to it. We're going to go ahead, hit Extrude. Oh, geez. That was not at cursor. So undo. We're going to go to the cursor. Extrude, scale, move it in a little bit. Double check that everything is working the way we want it to. Appears to be the case. Oh, no. Did I forget? Ah, it's murdering me. Okay. I just got to patch this guy real quick, so we're going to extrude that out. I blanked out on what I was doing. We're going to go here. Going to move that over. Snap that. Because I still have my thing over here selected. I'm grabbing the arrows when I'm doing this too. We're going to make sure this is merged again. Vertex. Oh. A, select it all. Vertex. Merge vertices by distance. Didn't merge anything, which should not have been the case. Computer, you and I have been through a lot. Do me the courtesy of doing the thing that I'm telling you to do. I'm bartering with my machine. That's never a good sign. Oh, I didn't do on the Z. I'm just going to hit G. That's why. Make sure that is snapped properly. A, vertex, merge by distance. There we go. We merged one vert. Yay! That's what I wanted. Now we're going to select something on here. Control plus. Select it all. Extrude. Oh, dang it. Make sure it's at the 3D cursor. Now we extrude. Scale it in. We've got a little bit of that. Great. I'm going to select this. Control plus again. I'm going to hit H to hide it. And we're going to go to 1, or actually 3. And we're going to turn on... Where is it? Ow. What button am I looking for? Oh, it's up here. There we go. We're going to turn this button on, which is going to go into wireframe. We're going to hit B for the box select. Select all those. Go back to solid. I actually you can use either of these buttons up here. If you hit Z, it gets the same menu. I'm tired. I'm going to hit plus. Make sure that I have everything that I need selected, which I think we're missing a group down here. So I'm going to go to faces, shift, alt, left click. Make sure we have that all. Oh, well, that's not correct at all. What in the... We're going to delete this to faces, and then I'm going to select this, extrude, do this from the bounding box. I'm going way over time, but that's okay. I just want to get this part done. And we're going to go to vertex, merge vertices by distance. Yeah, okay. So now we've got this shape. I just went back in object mode. I'm going to hit Alt-H. We're going to grab all of this junk. Do this from the bounding box center. We're going to scale it in a little bit until we roughly get where we need it to be. What happened? Is this why my geometry was messing up? I'm actually going to just quickly get rid of these guys. Or actually, I could just remerge this. That's probably why the geometry was messing up. I'm going to delete this. Grab this, Shift Alt, X, faces. Come back to this, Control plus. Now we're going to steady this into place here. And now, oh, I still have the snapping on. Turn that off. Now what we're going to do here is we're going to cheat. And I mean that in the best possible way. I'm just going to scale this a little bit first. Rather than going crazy trying to merge it exactly, we're going to go into edge selection, Alt-A. We're going to select this vertex, or this edge, and this edge. And we're going to hit Control-E to bring up the edge menu. And we're going to go bridge edge loops. Ha ha ha! There we go. That should have worked just fine. Now the other thing we can do is we can select this edge here. Oh, why is that? Why are you not going all the way around? That should have worked like a charm. Must you rain on my parade, Blender? Let's undo and see what happened. Because that should have worked. Let's just do two here. Control-E. Bridge edge loops. Yeah. Is it just a normal thing? Is that what's going on? Control-E. Bridge edge loops. Mesh normals, yes, and no, I need to recalculate. Ah, there we go. Okay, it was a normal thing. Haha! Now, in order to get rid of this weird bumpy, lumpy line over here, we're going to select it all, which apparently it still doesn't want to do going all the way, which should not be happening. Because apparently it didn't merge. That's really weird. I'm hitting the wrong set of buttons. That works. And, oh, it's because of the triangle down here? Is that what's doing it? Well, in any event, we're going to grab this whole edge here, and we're just going to dissolve it because we really don't need it. It's just extra geometry, and it's causing more problems. No? Whoa, okay. hold the phone here. Let's turn this off for a second. See what's going on the inside. Oh, okay. So it's looping there. Okay. So we have to delete this as well, because essentially this is now a boxed off shape, and then this is also a boxed off shape. So there's an extra piece of geometry that's just messing everything up. So we're gonna say faces. Now that, yeah, there we go. Turn this on. I actually like that. We're going to leave it right there. Okay, so took us a while, but we got there. We could adjust the windows a little bit more, which I'm going to do off screen. You can go ahead and adjust it. I'm going to tweak a few things, and when we come back in the next video, we're just going to add in some laser blasters. We're going to add in some funky looking doohickeys over there with the racing thing, some antenna, real basic engine. We're going to work fast and we're going to work cool, and then you guys can smooth things out. You can add more things. I'm going to do just a little bit here and there just to give it a little bit more flavor, and then you guys can take it where you want. So sorry this was a little bit longer. We had some things to troubleshoot, but I think we got through it all. So I hope that taught you a little bit about thinking about, you know, how to prioritize and work fast versus just grinding away. We do have to do a little bit of cleanup work here, but I'm going to do that off screen. So thank you for joining me. My name is Nick, and I hope to see you in the next stream, which I think for me is Friday at 10 a.m. And I'm also doing another one at 2 p.m. on Friday, doing some more game design stuff. So it should be interesting. So if you like game design, hop on over there. And as always, if you're interested in the class, give us a buzz. I'm done. I'm tired. I'm going to go take a break. Bye, guys.